underrated fights. Every anime have them, but for me, I want to show y'all the most underrated fights in the animated parts of JoJo Bizarre Adventure. So going from Phantom Blood all the way to Stone Ocean. If y'all agree or disagree, let me know in the comments below. But with that being said, let's get started with Phantom Blood. Phantom Blood was kind of hard to choose for an underrated fight because Phantom Blood is so short, and I would say I'm kind of reaching with this one. You can like take this with a grain of salt. But for Phantom Blood, the most underrated fight in that part is Jonathan versus Tarkus. Well, really, it's the crew versus Tarkus, but I'm gonna just, say Jonathan versus Tarkus. It's a cool fight. We're kind of seeing like Jonathan at a major disadvantage where he's like chained up against his super big ass creatures. One of the biggest creatures or one of the biggest people in JoJo's Bizarre Adventures next to Popo. But yeah, he just kind of like chained up. Did we see Zeppeli? And he ended up coming in trying to help Jonathan, but ended up dying. But he ended up giving Jonathan the strength to finally defeat Tarkus. It's a good fight. It's an overall emotional fight because we lose a major character in this fight. The reason I'm saying it's underrated is because we don't really see a lot of people talk about this fight for good reasons, because the Buford fight was right before this, and right after this, more important stuff is happening. So I can see why people wouldn't mention this fight. But yeah, I think it's underrated. It's a cool little fight. Moving on to Battle Tennessee. The most underrated fight in Battle Tennessee is Joseph versus AC/DC. I have a feeling why I know a lot of people don't talk about this fight. Well, one, better fights are after it. So of course, every fight after this is really good. Well, not every fight, but almost every fight after this is really good. Two, the JoJo community do not like AC/DC as a pillar man or a character, and I'm just kind of like, it was a good fight still, even if you don't like him as a character. I kind of like how crazy AC/DC's ability is, and just like how emotionally unstable he is. Yeah, I don't know. It's an underrated fight. It's not a bad fight in all of this part. People treat this fight like it's the worst fight in this entire part. I don't know. I think AC/DC had a really cool gimmick, little boiling blood gimmick. That was really cool. It was really cool. And seeing like how far he was willing to go to beat Joseph, to the point where he almost took over Suzy Q's body. Yeah, no, this fight's cool. Moving on to Stardust Crusaders. The most underrated fight in Stardust Crusaders is Jotaro versus Anubis. Jotaro versus Anubis is such a good fight, especially when Anubis took over Polnareff. Them two combined together, Silver Chariot and Anubis, is such a good stand duo. And just seeing how Jotaro actually was getting speed blitz, and he was like, fuck, this is a really hard fight. And just seeing the creative way that Jotaro was able to take out Anubis. I don't know, something about this fight is really good. It's one of my favorite fights to go back to in Stardust Crusaders. The only thing I don't like about this fight is that it was the creation of Black Polnareff, and when people say Black Polnareff, I'm like, what the fuck is that? What do you mean Black Polnareff? But overall, good fight, definitely an underrated fight. Go check it out if you haven't seen it. Going to Diamond is Unbreakable. The most underrated fight in this part is Josuke versus Angela, and that's basically the first fight of Diamond is Unbreakable, or the first real fight of Diamond is Unbreakable. The reason I got this fight as the underrated fight, because I don't see a lot of people talk about it, of course, and I feel like it do get overshadowed by another serial killer who's in this part. But we cannot act like Aqua Necklace was not a really cool stand, and that was a really good fight, bro. Oh my god, that was such a good fight. I love that fight. It was basically just Jotaro and Josuke trying to figure out where Aqua Necklace is, cause how crazy sneaky that stand is, that it could be many forms. Like that shit was really cool. I think Aqua Necklace is one of my favorite stands in Diamond is Unbreakable. So that's probably why I got this fight so high. And also, if it wasn't for this fight, we wouldn't have the iconic Angelo rock. So everybody in the chat say, yo, Angelo. For Golden Wind. Now, Golden Wind, I feel like there's a good amount of fights we can say for Golden Wind. But for Golden Wind, the most underrated fight in this part, in my opinion, is Naracha versus, I don't know how to say his name, but the user of Little Feet. Dog, the lead up to this fight is so like crazy. It wasn't like build up or anything. Naracha was literally just sent out to go get like supplies, and he ended up in this crazy fight against a stand that actually was a really good counter to Aerosmith, which is Little Feet. Of course, very situational stand, but dog, this fight was so crazy. The fact that we got just bombs going off everywhere, Aerosmith just shooting everything up, fucking Naracha getting struck down, almost getting killed by a spider, and we got that epic final like show off where these two are just surrounded by fire and they just don't. This, bro, I need y'all to go back and rewatch this fight. I'm not doing it justice by explaining it. This fight is really fucking good. It's super underrated. Moving on to the final animated part, which is part 6. For Stone Ocean, the most underrated fight is Jolene and Weather Report versus Lang Wrangler. And when I tell y'all, Jumpin' Jack Flash is one of the most broken stands in all of JoJo's, if not all of JoJo's. One of the most broken stands by a minor antagonist. A stand that has the ability to remove gravity from the person. And then, the longer it goes, it creates a vacuum to where it sucks out the blood of the victims, and it make a vacuum bubble of 20 meters around the victim. Swear, this stand is so fucking crazy, dog. And the fact that one of the few fights we get to see with Weather Report for real show off like the stand Weather Report, and then this is one of the few fights where we get to see Jolene and Weather Report together. Like, dog, I don't know, bro. This fight is amazing. I love how it ended. I love how Jolene outsmarted the user. It's super good. Y'all just need to go rewatch it. How do y'all feel about the list? Was it a good list? Was it a bad list? Let me know in the comments below. And also be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have a wonderful day.